Hello, this is Social Paintball, and today we're going to try something a little bit new. We're going to actually have two perspectives on the review items. So I've got the Empire Prophecy loader Z2, courtesy of Empire Paintball. We're looking at that. Got a Valken V-Max loader. It's provided by Hustle Paintball, as well as a Pinokio. This is a smoked Pinokio loader. So both of those courtesy of Hustle. And I own about 3 different rotors, so this is one of the rotors that we have available. So we're going to be looking at all these loaders from 2 perspectives, my perspective, and then we're going to shoot these all over to Stick to Drum and Manny and let them take them through the paces and give you their perspective. They're tournament players. As you know, I'm just getting into speedball myself, and by no means am an expert on that, and not really great at giving you that kind of perspective on speed and what requirements are for that. So I want to focus today on some of the other details I think are more relevant to rec ball and woods ball, which is more of what I'm experienced in, and give you my perspective on these loaders, and we'll turn them over to Stick to Drum. So let's get started. And we have the die rotor. Batteries installed. Put that on the scale. 1 pound, 7 ounces. Okay, we got the Empire Prophecy Z2 here. Scale zeroed out. And it is fully loaded with batteries. It's 4 AA's. And it comes in at 1 pound, 2.9 ounces. You have the Smoke Pinokio here. 2 9-volt batteries loaded in it. Scale zeroed out. Let's see what she weighs in at. 1 pound, 1.9 ounces. Zero the scale. We walk the nose cone on here. So with the nose cone, 1 pound, 6.6 ounces. Move that over so you can see it. 1 pound, 6.6 ounces. Okay, we got the Valken V-Max loader here. You can see there's 2 9-volts installed. And scale zeroed out. 1 pound even. Exactly 1 pound with the 9 volts in it. First off, one thing you can note real quick is packaging. There's only one of them that comes in a big bag. And, you know, I think that speaks to possibly value, given the price of the Pinokio and the features that it has. I don't really care about the packaging. It's kind of cool to have a nice, pretty box, but we definitely have kind of equal kind of presentations of all the rest of these loaders. Some sort of flip up on the boxes themselves. So, okay, so you've seen the weight comparison. You know the V-Max is really lightweight. That's a great thing for woods and rec ball, playing all day long scenarios. The capacity is definitely, you're going to have the highest capacity with the nose cone on the Pinokio. So that's a good feature of the Pinokio. Durability wise, I'd say all 3, the Prophecy V2, the Rotor, and the V-Max have similar shells and material, and are going to be much better if you're playing in severely cold weather like we do in Maine. I don't think there are many people that do that. But if you do, the Pinokio shell does tend to get brittle if you get down to 0-degree weather. But what doesn't really, well, the rotors seem to do better. I've seen these break when they drop in that kind of temperature. I don't know, it could have been, I'm not going to say that they all would. I've just seen it happen before due to cold weather. So the other factor I think for the rec woods baller is going to be operation with the, I'm just going to divide these into 2 groups, with the Pinokio and the V-Max. When you power them on, they're just going to load that stack, and they're not going to be constantly operating. They will stop. So, and there's a tab sensor in there. So they're not constantly making noise when you're out of paint. On the other hand, you have the operation of the Z2 and the Rotor, when they're on and empty, they're constantly spinning. And why that's a factor for woods ball, I think an important one, is because as you're shooting and you run out of paint, if your opponent hears that sound, they know you're out of paint. As opposed to here, you're not going to have a constant sound when you run out of paint. I know it's a little thing, but I'm trying to kind of pick out the nuances I feel with my experience are the differences between some of these rotors, other than your speeds and things like that. So what do I think overall? I don't think it matters. They're all going to have their strengths and weaknesses, but they're very slight. For woods ball and rec ball, honestly, it's just a matter of your preferences. If you want to be able to customize the look and feel of something and have a bit more durability, then the rotor might be the way to go. If you want the latest cutting edge technology and performance, with some nice features like the magnetic lid and some other thoughts, and kind of a beautiful sleek design here, the Z2 might be the way to go. But both of those are going to be pretty loud when you run out of paint and give you away in the woods, so you might want to have a Pinokio with 400 balls in the nose cone in the hopper, because you don't want to reload that much. Or you might go with something like the V-Max, which balances some of those features together, and attempt to kind of bring some of these together in, I think, more for a woods ball, rec ball market. But the price is still a little high, so I don't know. I don't think it really matters. You know the issues. We've presented them. So let's go ahead and get these loaders over to Manny and Stick to Drum, and we'll see what they have to say. Get some more perspectives here. So hopefully having more than just my perspective is really going to help you out on all this. Here you go, Sticky.
Thank you, Justin. All right, you know what? Instead of dicking around, let's just take this right out to the shooting range and look at that. Let's take it out there and start shooting it, right? Come on, let's go. This way, that way. The shooting range is that way. We're going with this and some guns. Let's go. Hey! All right, so we're going to do the test, speed test of the Pinokio. It's a shooting a clone VX, which was generously loaned to me by Aiden. He's standing right over there.
Walrus 27 on Tech TV.
He's waving from the Walrus 27 on Tech TV. Pinokio, it's set to unlimited full auto, so it's just going to go as fast as the Pinokio will shoot. Pod number one. It would help if I turned it on. Alright. Pod number two. Once again, this is unlimited full auto. Pinokio, fresh pair of batteries on the Clone VX. I love this gun. Come on, get in there. There we go. That's the Pinokio. So we have the rotor here. Once again, did I say that I was going to tell you it again? Sure. Clone VX, unlimited full auto. And this is the V3 rotor, all stock, no virtue board, just good old version 3 rotor. First pod. Thank you, Manny. Yep, get it all in there. There we are. And mask down. Good then. On. Okay. Pod number one. Pod number two. Pod number 2, V3 rotor, all stock. Thank you. First pod.
Flip up the lid
Thank you, Manny.
of the rotor.
Nope.
Guess not.
There we go. Turn her on. Gassed up. Gun on. That was pod number 1. Pod number 2. Thank you, Manny. Pod number 2. That's it. Pod number 2. Thank you. This is going to be the third pod that we're going to put through the Prophecy Z2, because on the second pod we were running out of air. So now we have plenty of air. All right, third pod. For science. Yay. That's all she wrote. Same gun. This is the V-Max loader. Once again on the Clone VX, set to unlimited full auto. And I'm gonna shoot a couple pods. Thank you, Manny. All right. First pod. That last one kind of exploded. Oh. Alright, so that was the first pod. We're going to clean out the barrel so we don't get any more mishaps on the second pod.
That's actually a restaurant.
Alright, so we cleaned out the barrel. This is going to be pod number 2 with the V-Max. I feel like I need to remind you once again that this is a Clone VX, a gorgeous Clone VX set to unlimited full auto. It'll probably be the last time I tell you that. Alright. Gracias, Manny. Alrighty. Thank you once again, man. Safety second. And a new tank for more air.
Air's off.
Thank you, Aiden. There we go. Pod number 2. Wow, fastball broke again. Interesting. So just for good measure, we're going to put one more pod through the Valken V-Max. So same setup, one more pod, Valken V-Max. Pod plus a ball. Thank you, Matty. Valken V-Max. Mask. All right, last pod. Valken V-Max. Thank you. So now what we've got here, we've got the Pinokio and we've got the V-Max, not in their complete form, but in pieces. And we're going to take a quick look inside, compare the drive systems for either, since the V-Max is commonly referred to as whatever version of a Pinokio. Simpler version, worser version, whatever. So let's take this off. Alright, so now we've got the, let me zoom in for you. Got the drive system here. Probably seen this before. Now, got the boards in here, and the drive system quite simply is this little chunk of stuff right here. And it's a little cup with a tube sensor right there, ball sensor, and this little prop here with these very, very soft rubber wing thingies. All right, so that's the drive area, drive assembly of the V-Max. Now the Pinokio, let's lift the shell off here. Set this aside. All right, so the Pinokio, you can see it is a bit similar. Zoom in a little bit more. The Pinokio has its drive cone area here with these little tangs, little prop things there mounted on the wheel, and the bend sensor right here. Now the bend sensor is of course different. This is a little flap, balls pass by it, and when it flicks back up, it activates the motor. Now where the V-Max fails and the Pinokio succeeds is that the Pinokio's design uses a bit of an angle to aid in the flowing of paintballs downward into the feed stack. But also these little tangs, while they are a little bit soft, have enough of a firmness to them that they actually give the balls a push. And there's enough space. You can see here the balls just flow completely into this, fill this entire area, and just flow right down into the feed stack. And it does so with a decent amount of pressure. It's not exactly a force-fed design. Most people know that it's similar to the Spider Fasta. However, that design with the tilt in the drive cone and these firmer tangs on the prop shaft? Prop wheel thingy there, they're firm enough that they give the balls a decent push and you do get some amount of speed. Problem with the V-Max is that these, I'm assuming one of the problems is that these are far too soft. There's no way that they're going to put any amount of decent pressure on the feed stack to give you proper feeding speed. And this little drive system here just lays flat and absolutely does nothing in terms of getting a decent flow out of the feed stack. So we've got a rotor here. This is Manny's rotor. He's nice enough to hang out and chill and help me with the tests, and now he's going to explain the rotor's mechanism for feeding, for force feeding, which uses a two-tier system. And go ahead, Manny.
So as Stick said, guys, it's a two-tier system. An upper rotor and a center rotor arm. So basically, as the upper rotor spins counterclockwise, the center rotor arm spins clockwise. There's a little cutout in the middle of the rotor arm that actually leads to the feeding tube. So as this spins counter, this spins clockwise, scooping up all the balls that the upper rotor arm is taken into the rotor base, and you know, it does a very consistent job of just continuing that mechanism, you know. And that's really the workings behind the rotor.
Excellent. Much more effective than the V-Max, I think.
Think so.
All right. Okay, now here we have the Prophecy Z2. Nose cone's pulled off, as is the lid, so that you can see the drive cone inside. Now this is modified from how it used to be with the original Prophecy, but the principle is still the same. Essentially, what you have here is, let me zoom in for you. All right, so you've got this drive cone right there. Put it on. Okay. All right, and essentially, in essence, it just catches each ball into each little indentation in the drive cone thing, and each indentation does hold one ball, and it just pushes them right into a little anti-jam tube there. You can see that, right? Show you again. All right, and that's the simplicity of this drive system. It really just catches each single ball in this very large drive cone here and pushes them down into the feed stack. And I guess we would call it the claim to fame of the Prophecy, specifically the Z2, is the circuit board. Circuit board's programming and combined with the sensor below that's attached to the motor is what will give you your speed and the softness on the paint. When there's pressure on the feed stack, it will back off on the tension, and that's really what does it. It's not so much a mechanical means of feeding fast or feeding consistently. It's controlled all by the programming on the board. So simple drive cone, but effective because of the complex programming protocols that they do use in this board. And that's why I love the Prophecy so much, and why it feeds as fast as it does. And that is also why the car alarms go off outside. Thank you. Features: speed, 30 plus balls per second. Also says it right here, 30 plus balls per second. So the 30 plus thing, it's kind of a lie. Okay, not kind of, it is a lie. It doesn't shoot, it will never shoot close to 30. Not with this drive system. I'm sorry, it won't. Forget about it, not gonna happen, let it go. Simplicity, yes, it's simple, we've seen it. Yes, it does come apart in, what do they say? 5.7 seconds, 1.2 seconds, who cares? Doesn't make a difference. I don't think it makes a difference because you're not really gonna break paint in this thing because the little tangs on the drive system are just too damn soft. Too damn soft to feed fast, too damn soft to break paint. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Value, $120 American. It's close to that for the Canadian. I'm not sure what it is in Europe or other countries, but as far as the US goes, $120. Not worth it. This is not worth its price tag. I'd say it's worth maybe just over half. Manny gave me the figure of $70, maybe $80, and I think that's a fair price. The shell material is amazing. It's that really hard plastic. It's similar to that of the Rotor, and I think that's something that would lend it a little bit of a higher price tag. But anything over, for me, anything over 90 for this is just ludicrous. I really would not pay for that. And with the amount, or I guess with the lack thereof, when it comes to technology that they put into this, price point, not a good value. It just isn't. Aesthetics, I don't think it's that good looking. I don't. Some people say it looks like a Rotor, but I think the Rotor's actually a really good looking loader. The Z2 and the Rotor are the two most gorgeous pieces of equipment that I've ever seen on top of a gun, and this thing is not exactly flattering on top of a marker. The back heavy design and this little thing, it doesn't look good. And I know, for some people looks aren't anything, but for me looks are a lot. I like stuff to look good. I like stuff to look like something that I would enjoy shooting, that I would enjoy using, and this is not one of those things. So that's really my thoughts. I think it's unfortunate. I'd call it a good try, and that's another thing. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's just a first run product, they'll do better. Well, you know what, that's not really that much of an excuse. Considering how much Valken hyped up this thing, that it was, oh, they delivered on all of their promises. I don't really know what their promises were. If their promises were 30 plus balls per second, they certainly did not deliver on that. But first run product, it should at least, I don't know, work the way they say it does. It works, it feeds, it does great, but it doesn't come anywhere close to being what it should be for how much they're charging you. So I think that was a bit of a fail, certainly fell flat. And all of the reviews that came out directly after, not all of them, a lot of the reviews that came out directly after the launch of this product, and it's a big reason, that was a big reason why I decided to take this on, to do these comparisons and do these tests and make these videos and this review as extensive as I did, or at least as I hope I did. You be the judge of that. But the reason why is because it felt like a lot of the reviews that came out immediately after the launch of this thing were pretty much just glorified promo videos, and they hyped it up and they made it seem so amazing, and they delivered on their promises, and it was so great and so awesome. And I didn't really actually see any hard testing of this thing, any real scrutiny of this piece of equipment, which when they're asking for 120 of your hard-earned dollars, I think it deserves that kind of testing. That's what I think of the V-Max. Would I personally go out and buy this? No, I wouldn't. Should you? No, you shouldn't. So once again, thank you to everyone who's helped. Thank you to Hustle Paintball so much, who actually loaned out the V-Max as well as the Pinokio. Pinokio is an amazing loader, by the way. You should buy one of those. I love the Pinokio. And I love the Z2. And I love the Rotor. I love them all. They're all great. Personal preference. I don't prefer this personally. So thank you to Hustle Paintball so much. Thank you to Justin from Social Paintball, a good friend of mine who obviously helped me with this. And a thank you to Social Paintball for letting me bring this kind of crazy nonsense to you. And a thank you, of course, to Manny once again for loaning out his rotor for the testing and for helping me out. And to Aiden for also helping me out for letting us use his Clone VX, which was quite a pleasure. Anyway, so that is the V-Max review from me, Stick. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time watching all of this tomfoolery and ass-hattery. And I will see you again very, very soon. Take care, play paintball, and drink lots and lots and lots of coffee. Ciao!
Twist the tongue, make everybody cheer. Breathe the moon, inhale the light year. Who's the goons that's ready to fight beers in the booth?